If every single soul on this planet lived life like an average American, we'd need 4 Earths just to keep up with the demand. In just the blink of an eye, our clothing consumption has skyrocketed by 400%. You might think that with all the noise about minimalism, it's a bandwagon everyone's hopping onto. Truth is, only a mere 10% of the world's population consider themselves minimalists. That's just 1 in 10. And while 11% want to jump on board, and 14% are actively working toward it, the rest of us are still finding our way. So if you're sitting there thinking, minimalism? Not my cup of tea. Think again. We'll be unraveling the untold truth about minimalism. The average American household is sitting on a gold mine of over 300,000 items. But guess what? We're regularly using just a tiny fraction of that stash. All this stuff isn't just cluttering up our homes, it's hitting us where it hurts the most, in the wallet. Studies show that the stress from all this clutter costs the U.S. economy a jaw-dropping $58 billion in lost productivity. And you know that fast fashion we're all guilty of indulging in? Well, the fashion industry is pumping out a mind-blowing 92 million tons of textile waste annually. That's like tossing out a whole truckload of clothes every single second. It's a serious environmental wake-up call. The average American spends a solid 2.5 days a year playing detective, trying to locate lost items amidst the chaos. Imagine what you could do with that time if you didn't have to play hide-and-seek with your own stuff. Studies consistently show that the true contentment champs are the ones who find joy in having just enough, not just in America, but anywhere in the world. Globally, a jaw-dropping 6 billion folks are living on less than $13,000 a year. There are only 8 billion people in the world, so that's more than half of the world's population. On the other hand, a staggering 2.8 billion people are surviving on less than $2 a day. Let's narrow it down. The average American is gulping down resources at an astonishing rate. We are using 7 global hectares, while the global average sits at a mere 2.7. This is what led experts to calculate that it would take not 1, not 2, but 4 Earths to sustain 7 billion people if they all lived like Americans. But hey, before you start sulking for your country, the US doesn't snag the top spot in this race. Kuwait takes the cake, demanding 8.9 global hectares. That's 5.1 Earths. Followed closely by Australia, 4.8 Earths, the United Arab Emirates, 4.7 Earths, and Qatar, 4 Earths. Faced with this impossible reality, it's high time we rethink our approach to modern living. That's where minimalism comes in. Sure, it might seem like a tough sell in today's fast-paced, consumer-driven world, but trust me, it's the secret weapon we've been looking for. Minimalism isn't about deprivation, it's about intentionality. It's about taking a long, hard look at the consequences of our actions. So are you ready to take on this challenge? Are you ready to join the ranks of those saying, enough is enough? Let's live with purpose. Tap that subscribe button at your first show of commitment. Stick around because we're just scratching the surface of what minimalism can truly achieve. Alright, so now I'm sure you've probably agreed that minimalism plays a great role in your journey toward financial freedom. However, now that you know that buying 1,000 Formula One cars will do little for you, and giving them all away does nothing either, you might be wondering why over 60% of millionaires are self-made. What's their secret? Was it just minimalism? The answer is no. There is Julia Roberts, known for her roles in countless iconic films, with a wardrobe of basic jeans and t-shirts, but a jaw-dropping net worth of $250 million. And Halle Berry, who personally handles her grocery shopping and often relies on public transit. Yet she can earn up to $12 million from a single movie. Even down to Harry Potter's J.K. Rowling, with an equally impressive net worth of $820 million. And Lady Gaga? The woman built a $320 million empire from nothing. Apple's Steve Jobs also built a tech empire worth $2,715.04 billion as a minimalist. And everyone knows Warren Buffett preaches minimalism, but the man's net worth is $117 billion, making him the 7th richest person in the world. The list is endless. However, there are people like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Bill and Melinda Gates who have harnessed so much wealth without an openly minimalistic lifestyle. How about that? The keys to wealth are more about the mind than the material. You can't just pick 1 out of 3 and expect to hit it out of the park. It's a holistic approach. a mindset shift. According to the big shots in finance, getting rich doesn't just happen in your wallet. It starts right up here, in your head. You need to believe in something that seems miles away and actually reach out to grab it. Take Jeff Bezos, for instance. The guy's sitting on a net worth of about $150 billion. And then there's you, working your job, probably with a degree from some university. Savings? A bit thin. Living costs? Sky high. Feeling underpaid? Yeah, we've all been there. And let's not forget that pesky credit card debt. Or maybe you're a student gunning for that degree, only to find a monster student loan looming over your head. Getting rich feels like a distant planet, right? You look at those millionaires and billionaires, especially the young ones, and it's like, how on earth did they do it? It's confusing, it's frustrating. You might think they hit the jackpot, were born with silver spoons, or pulled some kind of sneaky trick to swim in wealth. Worst of all, you start doubting your own smarts and values. But what if I told you you were wrong? There was a way of getting there, an actual equation to wealth, the science behind the way money works. Wealth might not be a walk in the park, but it's definitely not reserved for just a lucky few. The money cycle is a dance between what you bring in and what you spend. Another cool way to look at it is your production versus consumption. You make money by doing something valuable, usually through your job. Then you spend it on things like a headphone, a new pair of shoes, a yacht, a mansion, or maybe a Netflix subscription. Now, remember those stats I threw at you earlier? Take a second to think about your own cash journey. How much of the money that rolled in is still hanging around or invested? And where do you think things might be a bit out of place? Chances are, it's a bit of both. For most of us, the real challenge is in how we spend. 78% of American workers are just scraping by. Even among folks pulling in $100,000 or more each year, 1 in 10 felt the pinch. That shows that no matter your income, things can get tight really quickly if you're not keeping an eye on what you're spending. So before you even think about how to ramp up what you're making, take a beat to get real with your spending. Just ask any celeb who's hit money troubles despite making a boatload. They'll tell you that what you bring in doesn't mean a thing if you're not smart about where it's going. Now let's get real about this rat race thing. It's not just about your job. It's about living life on such an edge that you're constantly chasing the next paycheck or possession. This can make your bigger goals take a back seat. But guess what? It doesn't have to be this way. The first step? Get down and dirty with your expenses. Start journaling where your money's going each month. Housing, food, entertainment, you name it. Yeah, I know it's not always easy. We tend to avoid the tough money stuff. But once you power through, it's time to take the reins on your spending. That's where budgeting comes in. Decide how much you're going to spend in each category and stick to it. It's about being smart about what you consume and finding ways to cut back so you have enough left to save and invest. And before you even think about investing, make sure you've got that emergency fund locked in. It's your financial safety net. That's the crux of minimalistic lifestyle, cutting your spending. Sure, saving and cutting expenses will do a lot, but making more money is a game changer. Not everyone's going to start a business, and that's totally cool. Your job is a solid means of production, but don't stop there. Think about what unique value you can bring to the market, whether through a side gig, content creation, or product development. The internet is a game changer, giving you a platform to get your value out there. And hey, anyone who told you that starting a business would make you any less of a businessman totally lied to you. Starting a business isn't difficult. Just look around you for questions and problems. Every billionaire you know today either solved a billion-dollar problem or answered a million-dollar question. Take a look at Elon Musk, for instance. This guy's like a one-man solution factory. He co-founded PayPal, addressing the online payment conundrum. Then he revolutionized electric cars with Tesla, tackling climate change and making eco-friendly transport a reality. Not stopping there, he's also shooting for the stars with SpaceX, working towards making life multi-planetary. Talk about big questions. Then there's Jeff Bezos. This guy saw a gap in the market and founded Amazon. He wanted to create an online marketplace where folks could buy pretty much anything they needed. Fast forward, and Amazon's become the go-to platform for, well, everything. Bezos understood the power of convenience and made it a reality. Now don't forget about Bill Gates. He co-founded Microsoft and brought personal computing to the masses. He saw the potential in having a computer in every home, and look at where we are today. It's hard to imagine a world without PCs, and Gates played a major role in making that happen. And let's not leave out Mark Zuckerberg. He looked at the way people were connecting online and thought, why not have a platform where everyone can stay in touch, share, and connect? Thus, Facebook was born. Now it's a cornerstone of how we interact in the digital world. What possessions truly add value to your life? What could you let go of to make space for what truly matters? Remember, minimalism isn't about deprivation, it's about intention. It's about curating a life filled with purpose and meaning. If you're ready to leave the 78% living from paycheck to paycheck, hit that subscribe button and join us on this minimalist journey.